guys, today I'm doing a first impressions / demo on this beauty right here. Urban Decay recently announced that they will be releasing a Naked Ultimate Basics eyeshadow palette. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I saw this, I kind of lost my shit because I am such a sucker for neutrals, like anything neutrals, especially warm neutrals, like boo-doo-doo. So when I saw that they were coming out with this, I was so excited to buy one for myself and to try it out and to let you know here on my channel what I think of it. But this morning I opened my door and my mailman was like, Urban Decay. So first and foremost, I want to thank Urban Decay so much for sending this out and letting me try this. I think it's so cool when brands let me try their products. I also kind of feel like I look like a doctor. Hello, ma'am, glam problems? I can help. Anyways, so we're talking about this beauty right here, the Urban Decay Naked Ultimate Basics palette, and it looks like this. First of all, I think the packaging on this is absolutely insane. This is that type of packaging where you just feel like it's such a luxurious, amazing product, and because it's a neutrals palette, you want the packaging to kind of lure you in. There are so many neutral shadow palettes out there that when a palette has amazing packaging like this, it kind of helps me pick that team faster than the other one with sucky packaging. Now on the inside, we find a very high quality, good mirror. This is like a true top quality mirror where you can actually do your makeup with. On the inside, we find 12 brand new eyeshadows. These are eyeshadows that are brand new for this palette only. They cannot be found anywhere else in any other palettes from Urban Decay or as singles. On the top row, we can see more pinky, mauvey, dusty pinks, like purple shades, and on the bottom row we find warm browns, a gray, black, and a more yellow toned highlighter color. All these shadows in this palette are matte with the exception of Blow, which has a lovely, nice, soft shimmer to it. Now basically when I get new products and I really want to put them to the test, I do a cut crease because with cut creases the blending is so precise and you can really tell if a palette is up to par if it blends out a cut crease nicely. So that is exactly what I did today. Off the bat, I know that Urban Decay matte shadows are super buttery, pigmented, and intense and easy to work with. So I kind of felt like this palette would be just that. For example, if we look at the Morphe 35O palette or basically any other neutral palette out there, the matte shades are kind of more on the dry side and more powdery. With this Urban Decay palette, all the mattes are very buttery and almost have this like cream texture. It's not a cream shadow whatsoever, but it's so buttery that it almost feels like a cream. I think the pigmentation on this palette is okay. There were some shades that totally knocked me out of the park. I was like, holy crap, that is pigment right there. But there were also shades where I was like, oh, I expected something darker and more intense. For example, the top row of this palette, I expected all the colors to be a little bit darker once I applied them, but they turned out to be lighter. So that kind of messed with my brain, especially Instinct. You will see it in the demo later on, but I applied that to my lower lash line, expecting such a like lower lash line color, and it just looked a little washed out. I think the color range of this palette is perfect because you got your warms, neutrals, cool tones, darks, highlighters. My only little tiny niggy downside to this is that Blow is such a beautiful color, but I'm pale as paper and on me it's like my skin tone with a shimmer. So if I could wish for a lighter shade that would pop on pale pasties out there like me, I would not be mad at that. I had minimal to no fallout with these shadows on my cheeks. I find this palette to be very beginners friendly because you have all your neutral tones in there and they're easy to blend out. But I'm gonna be honest, if you have, like me, 12 neutral palettes out there, there is not really a point in getting this unless you're like a great Urban Decay fan and you like supporting the brand. Another thing that comes into play is that this retails for $55. For $55, you get the palette, the mirror, 12 brand new shades, and a little brush. Now this brush is actually really nice. The short side of it is really great to really smudge colors in there, and the other side of the brush I don't really like. I really don't like this side of the brush. This side, however, bomb. So that all together retails for $55, and I have been informed that this will launch September 18th. Now, without any further ado, I think it's time to hop into the demo and see how these shadows work on my skin, how they blend out, how they apply, what I think of them, just the entire shebang. So if you would like to know how these work on my eyes, then keep watching. All right, so the first thing I always do, no matter what I'm using over top, is applying my MAC Soft Darker Paint Pot as a base. All right, now I'm going to be dipping into the color Blow to set my crease and brow bone area to help blend the shadows later on. Okay, right off the bat, I do notice a soft sheen. It's a little darker than I would like it, but then again, I'm pale as paper. So for me, it isn't really gonna brighten my brow bone. It's just gonna set that base and help blending later on. But usually I like them a little bit lighter to help brighten up my entire eye area. But this one is just a beautiful shimmer. As my transition shade today, I'll be using the colors Nudie and Commando. And I'm just gonna brush that into my crease for some definition and again as my transition shade. And when I picked up the colors with my brush, powder didn't really blow up in the pan, which I feel like a lot of palettes nowadays do. All right, once we have that transition right there, I'm gonna go in with Extra Bitter. And this is the shade I'm looking forward to the most because it just speaks to me on a spiritual level. And this is going right at the base of where we just applied the transition colors. That is a beautiful color. So I like to really build up my crease. So I take a little by little and really build definition. But so far the pigmentation on Extra Bitter is fantastic. So picking up a little bit more and really starting to intensify that. Deepening up the outer edge of that crease even more now using Lethal. So far I'm really enjoying working with these shadows, but especially this Lethal color can look a tiny bit streaky in places, but all you have to do is just blend like a pro and you'll be good. I'm going to cut the lid using some Pro Longwear Concealer by MAC. And I'm gonna set that entire lid using Pregame. And going over top using Blow. With Lethal, I'm just gonna define the base of the cut crease a tad bit more. With Instinct, I'm now gonna define the lower lash line. Okay, this color is leaning a little too powerless for me. I expected like a lot more like darkness from it, and it's like this dusty brownish pinkish color. I don't love it. Isn't that the weirdest when you expect a color to be so intense and then it comes out kind of sheer and less dark than you expected it to be and you're like, what? To add in that darkness, I'm gonna add a little bit of Lethal and continuing defining that lower lash line using Faith. To really ground the look, this needs some winged liner, and I'm gonna use my latest obsession. The Tom Ford Eye Defining Pen for liner is what dreams are made of. And for lashes today, I'll be using the NikkieTutorials Sassy Lashes. All right, so I know this video is all about the palette, but I always get so bummed out when I watch one of these videos and they do eyes only, and I'm like, but what did you use for highlight? What did you use on your lips? So I'm gonna show you highlight and lips. For my glow today, I'll be going in with the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powder in Cocoa Bling, and I'm gonna apply it using a damp Morphe Beauty sponge. All right, and then for lips, I'm gonna be using the Beauty Bakery Lip Whip in Ginger Snap, and these are the most budge-proof liquid lipstick I've ever tried in my life. These will stay on until you take them off. And to lock this look in place for the rest of the day, I think it's only fitting to use one of my favorite Urban Decay setting sprays. I'll be using Chill. And that is all I have to say about this palette, guys. I think it's a really great neutral palette if you don't own too many neutrals yet. I think the consistency and formula is very buttery and very easy to work with, but if you have a lot of neutral colors, don't see the point of getting this. So if you don't have a lot of neutrals, I give this palette a full yes. If you have the 35O, the Kylie, the Shannon, the Manny, I would say mess. So that's it, guys. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. For any additional questions, please leave them in the comment section down below, and my viewers or I could help you out with answering that. For a full list of every single product mentioned and used, plus what's on my face, go to my Instagram at NikkieTutorials. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat. That all is NikkieTutorials. If you enjoyed watching this video, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I want to thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I will see you guys on the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, so today I'm doing a tutorial by Holy Glowing Goddess Gigi Hadid. She recently, a little while ago now, she was rocking a like colorful mermaid look on Instagram, and when I saw that look, I was like, I love that look so much, and it reminded me of like the old Nikkie days. You know, back in the day, neons were my neutrals, glitters were matte to me. Back in the day, I used to do all these crazy looks, and with this look, I kind of feel like old Nikkie is back.